Alright, this is the last part of my haul. And these are the books I got yesterday at a bookstore in downtown Detroit called John King. And it is probably one of the best big bookstores I've ever been to. Sorry if my words are kind of slurring. I'm trying to go fast. But it's really cool, and I picked this up. This is my best find I've ever found there. And it wasn't even me who found it, so that was kind of surprising. But it's the official guidebook to the 1939 World's Fair in New York. And it's a really, really thick book, so it has like the everything from, you know, the pharmaceutical buildings to the highway models that they were going to show there, or they did show there. It even has food stands in there, or entertainment areas too, and you can find out what they had, and it lists them in the directories, and it's really cool. And I think it's probably one of the coolest historical books I've ever owned, so really neat to have that. It was 25 cents at the time, and I got it for $10 today. It wasn't too expensive, but still kind of crazy. Alright, so let's start here. I got this book called The Scented Garden. Oh, it's backwards. The Scented Garden. And it is just a book about keeping plants for, you know, like herbs or for smells. I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, I like collecting books about potpourri. So if you see books like that in the future or in the past, you can tell that I'm a big fan of that kind of thing. So I got potpourri book kind of thing. Perfection Salad, which is about women and cooking at the turn of the century. I thought this was really neat. I'm very interested by women cooking during the last 2 centuries or so. Very interesting how it all caught up so fast to now, where we basically just kind of do whatever, put something in, call it food. Back then they had to really prepare for that kind of thing, so it's very intriguing to read about it. This is another history candy book. I got one during the summer and I'm still reading it, and it's almost January, so it's kind of been a while, but I'm trying to take it all in. So I got another history book about candy, and this one's a little bit different. It's a little different sized, and this one is interesting in the fact that it talks about the world's history of sweets, not just sorry, I gotta move my legs a little bit. It's not just about American history and candy, which I have that book of. So here are the last few books. I got the Early American Gardens book by Anne Layton, and I got another book by her, you'll see in a moment. This one was really cool for me to find. It's really cool that she had this series. She had another book there, but I didn't have enough to get it. So, yeah, that's alright. I didn't really care much for the 18th century, no offense. This book kind of covered the early American one, covered that. And then this one is the 19th century, which is really cool because, of course, it's the Victorian era, and the Edwardian period comes kind of after. So I'm more aware of, like, the last century, but in the 19th century, I like learning more about, like, Victorian gardens and stuff like that. And this one's pretty nicely illustrated, nicely worded. A lot of words going on in these books, but believe me, I'll have time to read them at some point in my life. And this is the last book I picked up. Wow, it's already gone through a whole bunch of them, but this is the last one. And this is All Manners of Food. And this is about eating from basically from the past to the present throughout the world. And it already starts off with these like really cool illustrations. And that's just the cover pages. And it just talks about the Middle Ages all the way to you know, present. This was written in the 80s, so it goes up to the 80s, I think. And yeah, those are my books. I am very, very fortunate to find all these used books for the prices they had, and I was very fortunate to get books for Christmas and my birthday. I know I have a lot, and I review too much, but you know, it means a lot that I can collect them. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the Bookowl.